Hi, everyone. Today, we're just going to dive quickly into the spectrum of well-being that I often talk about and the driving forces behind it and how to get the most from wherever you find yourself at this time. Many of you have heard me talk about this survival to thrival spectrum, or we could call it disease, optimal health, give it different names, really just to describe the spread of experiences we can have in life. And there are two driving forces on that spectrum, and it's called the push or the pull. So when we're in pain and discomfort, we are driven by push. We are driven by the desire to avoid or experience less of something, less of what we are currently experiencing. The other side of the spectrum is driven by the force of pull. Pull is the desire to experience a more wholeness, a more authentic self, and actually the experience of more, seeking growth. So there's sort of an opposite, right? Complete opposite. There's no right or wrong. We're all going to experience likely both of these at various points in our life. And I want you to get into a little bit of, here's a few questions, I guess I should say, to help you just to identify where you are at and get the most from these two spaces. First question for you is, what is motivating me right now? So just exploring, do I feel more motivated by this push, avoiding something that is uncomfortable, trying to experience less of, or am I more motivated by the pull, experiencing more of life growth oriented? Just noticing, just taking in that information. And then in this moment, ask yourself, what am I choosing? Am I choosing to be avoiding something or growing into something? Is there an actual conscious choice happening there? Or does it feel like my body is just sort of reacting to what I have available to me? Just once again, open-ended questions to get yourself to just start to open that awareness, to start to notice. When we bring our attention and awareness to anything, it starts to shift and change. And for the most part, it's going to shift into a deeper alignment. So with these questions, we can start to evaluate what parts of ourselves maybe are unhealthily attached to a certain area, or maybe not serving us anymore to be attached in that way. And then the sort of the gift of the push phase, the question I would ask and what we can get from that phase is, where can I soften my resistance? Where can I soften my resistance to the discomfort that is coming up in my life? Yes, it is very nuanced, and I take people through, intimate conversations about this on a regular basis, but as just a general theme to that side of the spectrum, that is what I want you to think about and ask yourself and just see what your body says in response to that. And then the opposite side of the spectrum, the pull side of the spectrum, if you're finding yourself identifying more with that, the gift there is how can I ground more into who I am becoming? So we might feel the pull to move forward, to grow. How can I really bring that into my body and experience this person I'm being asked to become? And oftentimes there might be this element of, this is greater than myself. Like, I am doing this for more than just myself at this point, right? So when we steep into like these qualities of like, oh yeah, I would be more of a leader. My heart would be more open. I'd be more open to having new conversations or meeting new people. Really steeping into, how can I ground into who I'm becoming? So it's like getting specific and clear on what that person would be like. And the more clear and specific we kind of get into those qualities of that person, the easier it is for your nervous system to sort of adopt them and choose them, consciously choose them in moments when maybe the old patterns want to run the show. So just a few questions to start to steep into thinking of those two forces that really drive our spectrum of life and health and well-being, and a few questions to get what you're meant to get from them. So yes, it is all nuanced, and I would love to talk to you about yours more if that delights you. So sending you all well wishes, and we'll chat soon.